Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Corsair Media Hour. In this news segment of ours, we're going to take a look at some of the recent news articles involving Corsair Group and our operations. What we're going to do is we're going to look through and correct any possible wrong information or even false statements. And at the end of every episode, we're going to give every one of these articles a final score. Now, let's get started. Today's article that we're going to cover comes from a very well-known and infamous website called Behind MLM, which has released a couple of not so flattering articles about Corsair Group and our operations. And because the recent one just came out a few days ago, we wanted to address some of these allegations quickly and efficiently while the news is still hot. So, the article starts with the following statement saying, "What's left of Corsair Group has rallied around a recently signed agreement with Shell." What's left of Corsair Group? At this point, I have to also mention that the same infamous website, which is known all over the world for attacking companies simply and only to create clicks through advertisement for their visitors, is known for writing all types of unbelievable statements, many of them being fabricated with no root, no base in reality, only to create these visitors from which the website owners make their money. So I understand what they're trying to do, and this is how the world works. What I do not agree with is that the operators of the website operate in full anonymity. They do not release their names. There is no public information who are writing these stories or who even owns this website. So that tells you, in my opinion, already everything that you need to know coming into this topic. But let's have some fun with this. I love this topic. So, what's left of Corsair Group? The same website in 2021 said the following statement: "All the garbage about Corsair's recycling plants is smoke and mirrors." In 2022, in another article, they said that this would in turn suggest that the opportunity itself has collapsed. Sorry guys at Behind MLM, those statements didn't age very well, did they? Anyhow, what's left of Corsair Group? Well, what's left right now is an amazing situation where we have been growing this year rapidly, exponentially, expanding our recycling operations, first of all, to Europe, where we now are operating our first European facility in Finland. As the headline here states, we recently also formed an offtake agreement with Shell in the Netherlands, which now involves also an offtake of our oil from Finland to be used in their operations. Additionally to that, Corsair is expanding its operations to North America. We are expanding our operations to South Asia. We are expanding our operations here in Thailand, and we're just having a great time on building this business, and things are looking extremely well. So the first words on this article already tell you everything that you need to know about the direction where this is gonna go. And ladies and gentlemen, I gotta tell you this, it's gonna get worse from here. So anyway, let's move forward. Now, the article begins with the following exciting statement. The operators of Corsair Group's Jämsä facility have had their assets frozen and are under investigation for fraud. Corsair Group's Kaipola facility operated as Kaipola Recycling. 2 months prior to Corsair Group's Great Progress update, Kaipola Recycling filed for bankruptcy. So let's break that down a little bit. First of all, the Kaipola facility is a general term for a location in the beautiful city of Jämsä in Finland called Kaipola Business Park. Kaipola Business Park used to operate as a paper manufacturing plant for decades, owned by one of the largest companies in Finland. A couple of years ago, the paper manufacturing plant decided that they will move their operations out of Finland to South America. And as a result of this old paper manufacturing facility became completely empty. It was sold to a local team of gentlemen who operate a company called Kaipola Green Port. Kaipola Green Port therefore owns the entire Kaipola facility, and as part of their business plan, they started renting out operational spaces for different types of businesses with the target to attract more companies operating in circular economy. One of the first companies that ever moved into the Kaipola Business Park area, and actually a company that the owners of the property, Kaipola Greenport, was a shareholder in, was a company called Kaipola Recycling. What we can see is that Kaipola Recycling took over the management of the existing and old power plant operating in the Kaipola Business Park area. And as part of their collaboration agreement with Kaipola Greenport, began operating this power plant to generate heat and electricity. Now, Kaipola Recycling, as we can see from the documentation, was already registered long before any involvement of Corsair took place at the Kaipola property, even before we knew anything about the location itself. And Kaipola Recycling was paid to bring in a large quantity of raw material which they were intending to burn in the power plant in ways of incineration to create heat and electricity. Unfortunately, the team behind Kaipola Recycling was not fully aware of what they were apparently doing, and this resulted in a number of technical problems at the power plant, eventually leading to the power plant to be shut down due to several technical problems. Shortly after that, Kaipola Recycling fell into bankruptcy and ceased its operations at the Kaipola Greenport area. It's very important that you understand this background, because when we at Corsair eventually learned about the Kaipola Business Park area, we became very interested to move in and develop our business at one of their many production halls located in this large facility area. Kaipola Recycling Company and Corsair have never had anything to do with each other. We have never collaborated in any way. We have never been in any form of partnership whatsoever. We have no business with each other. And already when we were planning to move and become operational and we're preparing our operations at the Kaipola Business Park area, the Kaipola Recycling Company was filed for bankruptcy. So this is important for you to understand when we analyze this statement. So the Behind MLM website, now let me repeat, said that the operators of Corsair Group's Jämsä facility, first false statement, have had their assets frozen and are under investigation for fraud. Absolutely correct. Kaipola Recycling has filed for bankruptcy and also, as correctly said by the Behind MLM website, is investigated for fraud. Again, has absolutely nothing to do with Corsair. The article continues. Corsair Group's Kaipola facility operated as Kaipola Recycling. Again wrong. Guys, let me say something. If you're gonna be doing and running this kind of a website, please do even a little bit of background work. The reality is that you can find all of this information freely from the internet by just looking at the official government database of Finnish companies. And with about 90 seconds of investigative journalist work, you could have very quickly realized that these are two completely different companies that have absolutely nothing to do with each other. And to make such claim is just absolutely stupid. So I'm not even gonna call these clowns journalists, because that would, to be frank, that would be a insult towards the journalistic community. So I'm just gonna call these guys bloggers from now on, which I think is the proper terminology for these guys. So they say that Corsair Group's Kaipola facility operated as Kaipola Recycling, and then they go on saying that 2 months prior to Corsair Group's Great Progress update, Kaipola Recycling filed for bankruptcy. So now the question is, how does this have anything to do with us? Well, let's continue. The following statement from the article says, it seems the only activity Corsair Group got up to in Kaipola was generating a ton of waste. Continued with the following statement, to date, the only output of Corsair Group's activities in Finland is millions of dollars in waste. Right. All right, so let's break this down a little bit. As we just covered, there are two completely different companies that have absolutely nothing to do with each other. And as we can see from a number of articles presented for you right here, which have actually been released by more reliable traditional media than these bloggers would like you to know about. And you know what? I think calling these guys bloggers is also an insult for the blogging community, because there are some great bloggers out there. So I'm gonna call them from now on storytellers. I think that's much more accurate term for these clowns. So what they're actually saying is that we, in some way or form, are responsible for these mountains of garbage that was left on the site by a completely different company that we had absolutely nothing to do with, which you can find from media being published in Finland a number of times. But somehow now, these storytellers want you to believe that we had something to do with that way. Let me tell you something. When Kaipola Recycling Company went bankrupt, and it became evident that they themselves will not be able to anymore manage these mountains of garbage that are now left there since they shut down the power plant and they went out of business. A big question in the local area was that who is going to now take responsibility of this? If the company that was paid and received millions in so-called gate fees of bringing this garbage into the facility are not able to manage it, who is going to be responsible? Well, the way that the law works is that the owner of the property, in this case Kaipola Greenport, is now going to be responsible. And based on a number of studies, we have learned that it would cost millions of euros to have this garbage removed from the Kaipola facility and then have it properly disposed. And because Kaipola Recycling is now in bankruptcy, who is going to take care of it? If Kaipola Greenport, the owner of the property, is not able to now manage it, and as you can see from many articles, they have been questioned by the local authorities about their plans and the time frame, when are they going to actually solve this problem, for which they haven't had a clear answer for. If Kaipola Greenport is not able to manage the plastic or the mixed waste that is there, eventually this responsibility is unfortunately going to fall into the hands of the local city and the taxpayers. That's a horrible situation. So we at Corsair, understanding this situation, have also already informed the city of Jämsä several months ago, around the time of the bankruptcy of Kaipola Recycling was filed, that we would actually be very happy to help in this situation. We know that those mountains of waste include a lot of plastic. We've looked them through, we've analyzed the area, and we also know that we could use in our operations, which are now active there in the same business park area, we could use a lot of that plastic to make our extremely valuable, high quality, advanced bio oil, which we then supply, as the article also states, for Shell. Now, the city has been extremely happy for this, and they are saying that we need to now wait what are the final plans of Kaipola Greenport in order to solve this waste mountain problem. So far, the mountains are there, and one thing is for sure, they have absolutely nothing to do with Corsair. So, for the ones of you who really like the details, the Kaipola Recycling operated power plant was stopped by the Finnish authorities in January 2023. The Kaipola Recycling Company filed for bankruptcy in August 2023, and in June 2023 is when Corsair moved into the facility with our first advanced recycling unit. So what does that tell you? It obviously shows you that we had absolutely nothing to do with this company. We have absolutely nothing to do with these mountains of waste. We are there trying to help these guys to actually solve the problem. But these storytellers would like you to see us as somehow involved in this situation, which we obviously don't have anything to do with. Now, moving onwards. Now, we get into the part which I think I am most excited about, and you'll figure out in a moment why. The storytellers continue their Pulitzer Prize worthy material, saying the following: today, Corsair Group is headed by its CEO Jussi Saloranta. Today. What does that mean? I've been running the company since day one. Why today? They continue. An Italian national. Guys, I have a lot of great friends all over the world, and a lot of those people are based in Italy. And I've actually told you in some of these group meetings that we've had that I, from my heart, truly feel like an Italian. And I love the energy that our Italian friends and business associates, our partners of the Amplivo network, are bringing into the world, and the enthusiasm that we get to enjoy together with them. And therefore, I truly, at least occasionally, feel to be Italian. But my passport is still from Finland, and I've always been a Finnish national. And if these storytellers would have bothered to do even one bit of actual journalistic work that they're supposed to do, they would have figured that out pretty quickly, I think. And you know what? Calling these guys storytellers is an insult to the storytellers community, because we love storytellers. Who doesn't love a great story, right? So let's not even call them storytellers. Let's just call them what they are. Bullshitters. That's what they are. If you can't even get my nationality right, what credibility does your stupid little website is gonna have from now onwards? But anyway, let's not stop here because it just gets better. Now, they also continue that I, the CEO today, an Italian national, I'm an associate of the one-coin Ponzi scammer, Mr. Staffan Libak. If this website or this article was in any way trying to actually tell you some form of news or based on some form of actual idea of sharing information with you, of what's happening with our facility and operations in Europe and Finland, why do they suddenly have to talk about a operation which by far today has been by most authorities labeled as an international Ponzi scam, and why to make this association between me and Staffan Liebeck? Well, of course, the only reason to mention it in this article is to just put myself and the company into bad light. But guilty as charged. I have known Staffan Liebeck since my early adulthood years, since my early 20s. I know the guy. We have not had any communication, haven't exchanged a single word for years, but guilty as charged, I do know the guy. So now, from the bottom of my heart, for all of you guys, grazie mille, everybody. Let's get somewhat serious for a moment, because towards the end of this article, the bullshitters actually make some of their most serious accusations. One of them saying that Corsair Group was launched by jailed fraudster Frank Ricketts in early 2019. Again, wrong. Corsair as a company name was registered by myself when I registered the domain in 2020. And as we can see from the official company documents, the very first company that carried the Corsair name was our company in Thailand called Corsair Development Company Limited. And this company was founded and has been led as its director by yours truly since day one. Frank Ricketts has never had any form of ownership or involvement of running this company since its day one until today, including any of the other Corsair Group companies that we have formed since 2020. Now, additionally, they also say that Italian authorities declared Corsair Group as an illegal investment scheme in January 2022. Again, wrong. Corsair, like many other companies, has been investigated by authorities. And it is absolutely true that in 2022, the company was investigated by the Italian authorities. We welcome investigation. We don't run away from investigation. Somebody wants to see what we do, we're very happy to collaborate with any authorities that want to learn more about our workings. In this case, the Italian authorities wanted to see what we're doing. We supplied them with hundreds and hundreds of pages of documents, from company documents, from bookkeeping, from accounting, from licenses, from agreements, from ownerships of the land areas where we operate, the factories, the purchase receipts of the machines, and many, many, many other official documents. And until today, Corsair Group, any one of the companies in our group, has never been sued, incriminated, or found guilty of any wrongdoing anywhere in the world. And these kind of statements that the website here makes is absolutely ridiculous. But their mission here is not to inform you or educate you or share with you any actual knowledge. It's simply only to attack us, because that's how they make their money. They make their money by people sharing the link. Have you seen the story about Corsair? But that's fine. That's what the bullshitters do. That's what the real fraudsters do. And that's how they're making money out of spreading complete lies and false information. To add to that, as you know, we are working together today with some of the most valuable companies and brands around the world who, before entering into any type of collaboration with us, typically and usually go through months and months of due diligence. During this time, the companies that we work together with will look through all of our operations. They want to know the background, they want to know the history, they want to see the shareholding, they want to see the people involved. And if they would find some kind of issue in our operations, do you think that these multi-billion-dollar global companies that we work together with would want to associate themselves with us in public press releases that we release in actual real media? Ask yourself the question. And as we're coming to the end of this segment and today's media hour, I would like to pass forward my invitation for the people behind the Behind MLM website, who until today have chosen to stay anonymous, hiding in the shadows while spreading these false accusations and lies about a company like Corsair. I would like to invite all of you on all expenses paid trip with business class flights and accommodation in the best hotels in Finland to come and visit our facility in Jämsä, to actually come and see what we're doing. If you prefer a trip to Thailand, we welcome you to Thailand as well. You choose whichever facility you would like to come, we would welcome you here. We would love to take you on a tour like we have done for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people before. We would love to show you what we actually do, how we collect plastic waste from the environment, how we turn this discarded plastic garbage that nobody wants, which is polluting our planet, how we collect it from the oceans, how we collect it from the landfills, and we turn that waste into this high quality, valuable product called Pyrolysis oil. We would love to show you around, we would love to share with you any documentation that you would like to see, and we would love to show you throughout inner workings what happens on our day-to-day activities, and we would answer every one of your questions. If you do not want to come or you're unable to travel, I would love to schedule with you a live broadcast interview, face-to-face, broadcasted to the world, where you can ask any question that you want, and I will provide you the answers together with the documented proof to back up every single statement that I make. I dare you to get in touch with me, and I dare you to actually get with me into this kind of interview. But most of all, we would love to welcome you to one of our facilities. We would treat you with the highest respect, and you would be actually able to produce a proper news story. This is not going to be the last time that this kind of article is going to be written about our company. And actually, this review that we do today, this media hour, actually might ignite even more of these. Fine. You want to attack us? You want to hit us? You want to come back to us? You want to make us look bad? Go for it. Welcome. We are not going to stop. We do not negotiate with terrorists, and we never, ever allow bullying. You are the bully. And if you want to continue to bully us, you want to continue to hit us, to come back to us with some other bullshit, go ahead. The people are smarter than that. No matter what, we as a company are going to continue to clean this planet from plastic pollution. We are going to continue to help the people in the poorest areas of the planet. We're going to continue to support people that truly need our help. And as a result of that, we are going to clean up this planet and leave a healthier, greener, and safer environment for the future generations. You're not going to be able to stop us with your bullying, and we're not going to play your games. Now, coming to the final part of today's media hour, we are going to give a score for this Behind MLM article. First of all, I have to give them 1 point for effort. I mean, they put a lot of effort into this one. Unfortunately, pretty much everything they said was completely wrong, but effort was still there. The effort was to truly make us into bad light, and for that they succeeded. All right, so 1 point for that. I'm gonna give a 2nd point for grammar. I think they actually did a pretty good job in writing clear text, and I didn't see so many punctuation mistakes. But the problem here is that the information that was shared was completely wrong in so many parts that you are gonna be deducted quite a few points on that. So ultimately, on today's scoring, we're gonna give this article altogether 2 points out of 10, which ultimately makes this article to become
fake news.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. It's been fantastic to be with you here today. Please make sure to subscribe on our YouTube channel, smash that like button, share this video for your friends, especially if they're asking about this article. And ladies and gentlemen, do not give in for the bullies. We are here, you're doing a great job, we love your support, and we're gonna talk with you again soon. Thanks a lot, guys. See you later.